Hi, it's good to see you again. Last week, I totally forgot the sign for why. And then 2 weeks ago, I totally forgot the sign for who. So just to review again, one more time, we have what, where, when, how, why, and who. That is all of them. Okay, so for today's lesson number 5, what we're going to talk about is some signs for communication. So if you meet somebody that is deaf, or if you're hearing, we're going to review some signs that might help with communicating. So as you saw that sign that I just made, if you take 2 letter C's coming from the mouth, that's communication. And then we learned help last week, help with communication. So if you are somebody that does not have hearing loss and you have normal hearing, you would describe yourself to somebody that does have hearing loss as hearing. And what you're doing is you're taking your finger by your mouth and you're kind of making little circles. So that is how you say that you're hearing, because you're talking basically. And the way that you say person, you could either take the letter P's and draw kind of a body going down, but more commonly is just taking 2 hands for person. So the sign for teach, and you might see I do that for lesson as well, but teach, if you add person, that's teacher. The sign for audiologist is audio, and then person for audiologist, and that's what I am. So if you are a hearing person, versus you could also have hearing loss and be deaf. So deaf is you point a finger from your mouth to your ear, and that means deaf. So you could ask somebody, are you deaf or are you hearing? Which one? And then a deaf person, and there's also people that have a little bit of hearing loss, but they're not completely profoundly deaf and they're not hearing. So if you do HH, that's a hard of hearing person. So HH person. So you could describe yourself as either hearing, deaf, or hard of hearing. Now, there's also some signs for hearing. So if you take your thumb by your ear and you scrunch your 2 fingers down here, do you hear the sound? Or if you're asking someone to listen, you could take the letter L to the ear. Listen, and then pay attention, is you're basically creating blinders and you're asking someone to focus. So pay attention. Listen, pay attention. Did you hear that? Okay. And then the sign, I'm not sure if we already did this, but the sign for can is you take 2 fists and you go down like I can, yes. And then can't is you take your 2 fingers and you kind of take one over the other. Can't. So can and can't. I can't hear it. Can you hear it? No, I can't. And then no, I think we talked about no and yes, but there's also don't, which is also not. So you take your thumb under your chin and you would use your facial expressions and say don't or not. And then if you don't want something, we talked, I think, about want. When you want something, you pull it in. When you don't want it, you throw it out. I don't want that. Want, I don't want. Do you see my facial expressions? That is very important in sign language. Facial expressions, we're going to get into this, can make or break a word or can change the whole definition. It's part of the language. So you want something or you don't want something. And then if you know something versus I don't know, I don't know. Stop. Stop is you basically take your flat hand, it's almost like time out. Stop, wait, waiting and waiting. I use this one with my dog a lot of times. Wait, waiting and waiting and waiting. Wait, stop, wait, please. You take your flat hand, you rub it on your chest, please, or please. And then you can also say thank you. So please, thank you. If you take your letter A and you do that, that means I'm sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. Please, sorry, thank you. And excuse me, Excuse me. So you could say, excuse me, are you deaf or hearing? And then you could say, oh, I'm hearing. And then understand is by taking your finger and flicking it by your forehead. I understand, or I don't understand. It's all about the facial expression. I don't understand, or oh, I understand. Yep, I got it. I understand. So we have wait, stop, and then if you're signing with somebody and they're going too fast, you could say, wait, stop, slow, please, slow. So you take your arm and you go slow, please. Again, so you take your flat hand and you kind of go like this for again. So you could say, stop, wait, slow, again, please. I didn't understand. If somebody has a hearing aid, the sign for hearing aid is you're hooking something over the ear. So hearing aid, hearing aid. Do you wear hearing aids? Or sometimes people have a cochlear implant, so you take your two fingers and you tap back here, which is where the magnet would go for a cochlear implant. So cochlear implant. There is another sign for cochlear implant, which is kind of a less, it's more of a negative sign for that, but it is with kind of more hooked fingers, but the more positive way is with the tapping, and I'll get into kind of that a little bit later when we talk more about deaf culture. So hearing aid, cochlear implant, and it's really important to use your facial expressions. So we'll do a quick review. Hearing, deaf, hard of hearing, person, hear, listen, pay attention, communication. Did I say hard of hearing again? Can, can't, don't, not, don't want, don't know, stop, wait, please, thank you, sorry, excuse me. Are you deaf? Are you hearing? I'm hearing. I understand. I don't understand. I can't hear you. Again, slow. Hearing aid and cochlear implant. There's one more I was going to teach you, which is sure or true. So true, when you have it come right from your mouth. The other one I didn't teach you yet is talking. So talking is taking all four fingers. Talk, 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 talk. So hearing, talking, communication, all is happening at the mouth. And then sure, true is another way to kind of say yes. And I think that's all I'm going to teach you today. So peace to the world.